by Mohamed Hoosen from Engie Africa. Mohamed, thank you very much for joining us.
Pleasure.
Mohamed, let's first take a look at some of the work that Engie Africa does across the continent.
So Engie is an energy company, and we participate in three main areas. IPP development, which is effectively renewable power that we develop, own and operate, and generally would sell that power under a long-term power purchase agreement to the utility. So for example, in South Africa, we're participating in the Department of Energy Renewable Power Program. The other area of business is energy services. And effectively what that means is that we would do energy service efficiency, energy service optimizations to improve the utilization of energy. And the last area of business is natural gas.
Now, in terms of doing business on the African continent, how easy or how difficult have you found it to be within the energy sector specifically?
I mean, of course, doing development in any part of the world comes with challenges. The challenges are different in different areas. So in Africa, yes, part of the challenge is regulatory environment. In other words, there is little regulatory certainty in some countries, because remember, our investments are multi-billion-dollar investments, and we want regulatory certainty for 10, 15, 20 years. So that's one of the challenges. And of course, the timelines. From when you start a project to when you actually make the investment and put a spade in the ground can be rather lengthy. So those are some of the challenges for doing business in Africa. But having said that, as you correctly pointed out when we started, we are Engie Africa. We're a business unit dedicated to the African continent. And notwithstanding the challenges, of course, there's great opportunity. And we are here, and we've been here for over 20 years, so clearly it works.
How important is collaboration with the development of the energy sector in the African continent? By collaboration, I'm referring, African countries collaborating with each other, but also the public sector collaborating with the private sector.
I mean, it's vital. It's certainly vital for us as Engie. Our business model is always a few things: to partner locally. So regardless of the opportunity we're looking at, we will always find a local partner to enable us to work together. I think it's also important for the transfer of skills. So as I said, our developments are large infrastructure developments. So there's huge opportunity for transfer of skills during the development phase, during the construction phase, during the operating phase. And of course, when you mention public sector, private sector, as I said, to get buy-in from government, to get regulatory certainty, to understand from government the needs of the country, because we always view it as an opportunity to work together with the host country and to be able to fulfill the needs of that country.
Now, this forum is essentially a meeting of minds, people from different sectors, but with a common goal, of building the energy industry and power industry on the African continent. What are you hoping to achieve, or some of the outcomes that you're hoping for from AEF 2018?
I mean, I think multiple things. As you correctly pointed out, it's a platform or an opportunity for multiple stakeholders to be at one location for 2 or 3 days. And it's an opportunity, of course, to interact, engage with those people that ordinarily would take many months of trying to set up these meetings. So you have an opportunity to meet the people in the energy sector in a very concentrated location for 2 or 3 days. That's the first thing. The second thing is, of course, it's well attended by governments, by state utilities. And again, as I said, it's an opportunity for sharing of knowledge, for sharing of best practices, to share with them Engie's global experience and expertise of how we do development in other parts of the world, some lessons learned, to enable African countries also to leverage of Engie's expertise and skills to be able for development to happen, but equally to happen at a pace that allows access to energy for the people on the continent.
Now, the theme for this forum is 20 years and looking at how far energy and the power sector have come on the African continent. What is the way forward?
I mean, I think, as you correctly pointed out a minute ago, collaboration is key. The view of saying we're coming to Africa to provide energy services because we've done it elsewhere and know how to do it is not the business model of the future. The business model of the future is to, as I say, to collaborate jointly with African countries, with governments, to understand what their needs are, and to jointly with local partners to be able to deliver that need. I think the other thing is that, I mean, we know today that there's 600 million people on this continent with no access to energy. And historically, you would build these large power plants and, you know, hundreds of kilometers of transmission line getting the power to where it's needed. One of the challenges on Africa is that population densities are very low in sort of peri-urban and rural communities. So it's not affordable to build a large power plant in the city and transmit the power to the community. So we need to adapt how we provide power to these communities, and we have that. We have that in solar home systems with a company we call Phoenix, and we have it in mini grids with a company called Power Corner.
Mohamed, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you very much.
Super. Thanks very much.